The fear of YaHUaH is where wisdom begins. Happy is the man that finds wisdom. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Shalom achoti. Perhaps you have read those words before. Pleasantness, shalom, and quietly wondered, where are they? Because perhaps your home has not felt pleasant. Your season have not felt peaceful. The world around you have been loud, heavy, uncertain. And so, wisdom can begin to feel like something reserved for other women. Women stronger than you, women wiser than you, women whose lives somehow seem closer to YaHUaH. But what if wisdom has never been inviting you to become someone else? What if she has been leading you back to the woman YaHUaH created you to become? The fear of YaHUaH has often been misunderstood. Some hear the word fear and imagine distance. Others imagine restriction or a life without joy. But Scripture paints a very different picture. It says, happy is the man that finds wisdom. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are shalom. Wisdom does not lead us away from life. She leads us into it. She teaches us to delight in what YaHUaH delights in, to love what He loves, to walk where He walks, to trust His counsel above our own. This is what Scripture says. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Aloha and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Notice, Scripture does not separate the fear of YaHUaH from walking in His ways. One naturally gives birth to the other, because the woman who truly fears Him does not only believe His word, she desires to walk in it. If we pause for just a moment and look at the ancient Hebrew picture behind the word yirah, fear, we begin to see something beautiful. Yod, the hand, the work. Resh, the head, the one who leads. Aleph, the mighty one, the strength. Hey, behold, to reveal. Perhaps the fear of YaHUaH is not simply trembling before Him. It is placing the mighty one as the head of our lives until His character is revealed through the way we walk. But how does a woman learn to fear YaHUaH? We often imagine that YaHUaH simply hands us a list of commands and tells us to obey. But notice how He speaks to His people. He says, listen to me. Then He says, look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bore you. Isn't it that beautiful? Before YaHUaH tells His people where they are going, He he teaches them where to look, before he teaches them what to do, he teaches them whose footsteps reveal his ways. Abraham and Sarah were never the destination. They were witnesses, living testimonies of what the fear of Yahuwah looks like when it is lived day after day, year after year. They trusted when they could not yet see. They obeyed before they understood. They remained when the journey became difficult. And through their lives, Yahuwah gave every generation something to observe. Not everything is learned through spoken words. Some things are meant to be observed. A woman who fears Yahuwah teaches others what that fear looks like. Not only by what she says, but by how she walks, by how she responds, by what she loves, by whose counsel she trusts. But what was it that Abraham and Sarah were reflecting? They were not inviting future generation to become like them. They were inviting them to behold the one they themselves had learned to fear. This is why Scripture speaks of wisdom in such a remarkable language. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the spotless mirror of the power of Aloha. Think about that. A mirror does not create an image. It faithfully reflects the one standing before it. Wisdom is called a spotless mirror because she perfectly reflects the heart, the character, and the ways of Yahuwah. And perhaps this is why the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. Because the woman who learns to fear Yahuwah begins looking where he tells her to look. She listens where he tells her to listen. She walks where he tells her to walk. Little by little, his ways become her ways. Yaakov gives us another picture. He speaks of another woman who looks into the perfect Torah and then walks away, forgetting what she has seen. But the one who remains, who continues looking, who becomes a doer of the word, does not walk away unchanged. Notice, Yaakov is not speaking about memory. He is speaking about transformation. Little by little, what once felt like duty becomes delight, because the fear of Yahuwah is no longer a command. It has become the desire of the heart. And when the heart begins to change, the mirror no longer frightens us. It becomes an invitation, the place where wisdom continues her work. For the mirror was never given to condemn us. It was given to reveal the heart of Yahuwah, and then to lovingly reveal our own. Every time we open His Word, we are invited to stand before that spotless mirror not to measure ourselves against other women, not to compare ourselves with the world, but to behold the one whose image we were created to reflect. And perhaps one more witness help us see this. Hadassah. Before there was a queen, there was a young woman, an orphan, living among strangers, learning to walk faithfully when no one seemed to notice. The palace was not where Hadassah learned to fear Yahuwah. It was the place where the fear she had already embraced was revealed. When the moment came, she was not deciding whether to fear Yahuwah. She was revealing whom she had feared all along. Wisdom had been quietly shaping her heart long before she ever stood before the king. We observe Hadassah, and through her, we witness the woman she had become. Because moments of testing do not create the fear of Yahuwah. They reveal the woman wisdom has been forming all along. And perhaps that leaves us with one question. What has been teaching your heart? Because every day we are receiving counsel. Every day we are being taught how to think, how to respond, how to love, how to fear, how to live. The question has never been whether we are being taught. The question is, who has become our teacher? Whose counsel has your heart learned to trust? This is why Melech David writes, "The secret of Yahuwah is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant." Think about that. The one who created heaven and earth delight in making his covenant known, not to the strongest, not to the wisest, but to those who fear him. This is why the fear of Yahuwah is so beautiful. It is not the fear of running from him. It is the reverence to draw us nearer to him, near enough to hear his voice, near enough to trust his counsel, near enough to be changed. So today, before you ask Yahuwah to change your circumstances, ask him to teach your heart to fear him. Because the woman who learns to fear Yahuwah will begin to recognize his wisdom. She will begin to delight in his Torah. She will begin to walk in his ways. And little by little, she will become the woman he created her to be. And perhaps this is why Yahuwah never asks us to pursue wisdom only to become more knowledgeable. Wisdom was always leading us toward a life that reflects him. Happy is the woman who finds wisdom, because one day her home will begin to know her pleasantness. Her children will observe her faithfulness. Her husband will trust her counsel. a younger sister might quietly learn from watching her life. Not because she pursued wisdom for herself, but because she learned to fear Yahuwah. Perhaps this is why Scripture does not end the description of the virtuous woman with her talents or her accomplishments. He ends with the root from which everything else grew. A woman that fears Yahuwah, she shall be praised. Her diligence was not the beginning. Her kindness was not the beginning. Her wisdom was not the beginning. The fear of Yahuwah was. Hodule Yahuwah for calling us into your ways. Teach us not to only believe wisdom, but to walk in her paths. Awaken within us a heart that delights in fearing you. Give us ears to receive your counsel, eyes to observe your ways, and a willing heart to remain before the mirror of your word. Shape us until our lives reflect your goodness, your righteousness, and your covenant. B'Shem Yahushua HaMashiach. Selah. Shalom Achati. Until next time, may the fear of Yahuwah remain the beginning of all your wisdom. Shalom.